Ecology. The study of how organisms interact with each other and their environment. Climate. The long-term prevailing weather conditions at a given place. Biosphere. The entire portion of Earth inhabited by life, the sum of all the planet's ecosystems. Global ecology. The study of the functioning and distribution of organisms across the biosphere and how the regional exchange of energy and materials affects them. Landscape. An area containing several different ecosystems linked by exchanges of energy, materials, and organisms. Landscape ecology. The study of how the spatial arrangement of habitat types affects the distribution and abundance of organisms and ecosystem processes. Ecosystem. All the organisms in a given area as well as the abiotic factors with which they interact, one or more communities and the physical environment around them. Ecosystem ecology. The study of energy flow and the cycling of chemicals among the various biotic and abiotic components in an ecosystem. Community. All the organisms that inhabit a particular area, an assemblage of populations of different species, living close enough together for potential interaction. Community ecology. The study of how interactions between species affect community structure and organization. Population. A group of individuals of the same species that live in the same area and interbreed, producing fertile offspring. Population ecology. The study of populations in relation to their environment, including environmental influences on population density and distribution, age structure, and variations in population size. Organismal ecology. The branch of ecology concerned with the morphological, physiological, and behavioral ways in which individual organisms meet the challenges posed by their biotic and abiotic environments. Tropics. Latitudes between 23.5 degrees north and south. Macroclimate. Large-scale patterns in climate, the climate of an entire region. Microclimate. Climate patterns on a very fine scale, such as the specific climatic conditions underneath a log. Abiotic. Non-living, referring to the physical and chemical properties of an environment. Biotic. Pertaining to the living factors, the organisms, in an environment. Biome. any of the world's major ecosystem types, often classified according to the predominant vegetation. For terrestrial biomes and the physical environment for aquatic biomes, and characterized by adaptations of organisms to that particular environment. Climograph. A plot of the temperature and precipitation in a particular region. Ecotone. The transition from one type of habitat or ecosystem to another, such as the transition from a forest to a grassland. Canopy. The uppermost layer of vegetation in a terrestrial biome. Disturbance. A natural or human-caused event that changes a biological community and usually removes organisms from it. Disturbances, such as fires and storms, play a pivotal role in structuring many tropical rainforest. A terrestrial biome characterized by relatively high precipitation and temperatures year-round. Tropical dry forest. A terrestrial biome characterized by relatively high temperatures and precipitation overall, but with a pronounced dry season. Desert. A terrestrial biome characterized by very low precipitation. Savanna. A tropical grassland biome with scattered individual trees and large herbivores, and maintained by occasional fires and drought. Chaparral. A scrubland biome of dense, spiny evergreen shrubs found at mid-latitudes along coasts where cold ocean currents circulate offshore, characterized by mild, rainy winters and long, hot, dry summers. Temperate grassland. A terrestrial biome that exists at mid-latitude regions and is dominated by grasses and forbs. Northern coniferous forest. A terrestrial biome characterized by long, cold winters and dominated by cone-bearing trees. Temperate broadleaf forest. A biome located throughout mid-latitude regions where there is sufficient moisture to support the growth of large, broadleaf deciduous trees. Tundra. A terrestrial biome at the extreme limits of plant growth. At the northernmost limits, it is called Arctic tundra, and at high altitudes, where plant forms are limited to low shrubby or mat-like vegetation, it is called alpine tundra. Photic zone. The narrow top layer of an ocean or lake, where light penetrates sufficiently for photosynthesis to occur. Aphotic zone. The part of an ocean or lake beneath the photic zone, where light does not penetrate sufficiently for photosynthesis to occur. Pelagic zone. The open water component of aquatic biomes. Abyssal zone. The part of the ocean's benthic zone between 2,000 and 6,000 meters deep. Benthic zone. The bottom surface of an aquatic environment. Benthos. The communities of organisms living in the benthic zone of an aquatic biome. Detritus. Dead organic matter. Thermocline. A narrow stratum of abrupt temperature change in the ocean and in many temperate zone lakes. Turnover. The mixing of waters as a result of changing water temperature profiles in a lake. Oligotrophic lake. A nutrient-poor, clear lake with few phytoplankton. Eutrophic lake. A lake that has a high rate of biological productivity supported by a high rate of nutrient cycling. Littoral zone. In a lake, the shallow, well-lit waters close to shore. Limnetic zone. In a lake, the well-lit, open-surface waters far from shore. Wetland. A habitat that is inundated by water at least some of the time and that supports plants adapted to water-saturated soil. Estuary. The area where a freshwater stream or river merges with the ocean. Intertidal zone. The shallow zone of the ocean adjacent to land and between the high and low tide lines. Oceanic pelagic zone. Most of the ocean's waters far from shore, constantly mixed by ocean currents. Coral reef. Typically a warm-water, tropical ecosystem dominated by the hard skeletal structures secreted primarily by corals. Some coral reefs also exist in cold, deep waters. Marine benthic zone. The ocean floor. Neritic zone. The shallow region of the ocean overlying the continental shelf. Deep-sea hydrothermal vent. A dark, hot, oxygen-deficient environment associated with volcanic activity under near the seafloor. The producers in a vent community are chemoautotrophic prokaryotes. Dispersal. The movement of individuals or gametes away from their parent location. This movement sometimes expands the geographic range of a population or species.